Every primitive culture tribe has had a rite of passage. 70-pound kettlebells in each hand. It's 70 pounds in a backpack. It's 120 pounds on top of a sled, 20-pound ankle weights, and you go 1 mile.
You made your son do it?
I made my son do it.
He gets halfway, he falls over, he says, Dad, I don't want to do this, I want to go back.
He knows that's not an option. I don't care how many days it takes you. If you need to fall down on the side of the road, if you sprained your ankle, if you've broken something, you're going to take a rest on the side of the road. You're going to sleep here until you go out, you complete this.
Yeah, because I heard you made your son do the Barbarian against Liver Queen's wishes.
That's right. This is true. Once again, it's tough to say, hey, you're going to go through 4 years of this living hell. So I know I need to create some rite of passage for my kids. And when I figured this out with my kids, I also want to bring this mainstream. So adults and young people today will also have a rite of passage. Every primitive culture tribe has had a rite of passage. You know, the Spartans at 7 years old leave for the next 13 years to become warriors, to become men. You have the Aztec at 13, they have to capture a neighboring tribe and bring them back for sacrifice. That's the rite of passage, right? There's a lot of modern day tribes. You'll leave for 3 months, go on a vision quest, you may or may not come back, right? Everyone's had a rite of passage. We've lost this rite of passage. When people turn 16 today, you know what we do for them?
Buy him a car.
You buy him a car, you might have a sweet 16 party.
Yeah.
There's no effort, there's no rite of passage, there's no leave, cross this chasm, and now you know what you're capable of. There's none of that anymore. So that's why I created the Barbarian, is I wanted something like that. And I remember the first day I did it. It's 70-pound kettlebells in each hand. It's 70 pounds in a backpack. It's 120 pounds on top of a sled, 20-pound ankle weights, and you go 1 mile. You go 1 mile. And I remember I left the house like this, and I remember it scared the shit out of me because I didn't know if I could complete it. And I know, you and I can talk about this, like, hey, you could just put the weights down, you could come back. Not in my mind. In my mind, I had to go through the whole circle. I had to complete the 1 mile, and it scared the shit out of me, and it took me several hours to complete. And I came back and I said, oh, that's it. That's the rite of passage. I'm going to bring this forward, and I'm going to share this with my friends. And I've shared this with my friends. Some people can do it quickly. Some people it takes 6 or 8 hours. A lot of people won't be able to complete it, period. But that's what the Barbarian is. And so this is a rite of passage, you know, that anyone can do today.
You made your son do it?
I made my son do it. When he turned 15, we had him do the Barbarian, and then I took him on a sacred hunt. But I like how you said against Liver Queen's wishes, because nobody thought he could do it. I mean, he's grown up tall, and he's not a real muscular guy yet. He's adding muscle. I mean, he's added a lot of muscle recently, but everyone just thought, oh, first of all, he can't do it. Secondly, if he attempts to do it, he's going to get hurt. His own CrossFit coach said he doesn't need to do this. I remember at dinner, she said the same thing. Oh, this is dangerous. Let's not. And I put the fucking hammer down. I said, there's no way anyone's talking us out of doing it. He's doing it. He's going to train for it. And when he does it, he's going to show all you guys what you thought was impossible is possible. And he's going to know what he's capable of. This is his rite of passage. Don't take that from him.
What if he'd failed?
There's no, I don't, so this is what I believe.
He gets halfway, he falls over, he says, Dad, I don't want to do this, I want to go back.
He knows that's not an option. What I told him before starting is, I don't care how many days it takes you. If you need to fall down on the side of the road, if you sprained your ankle, if you've broken something, you're going to take a rest on the side of the road. I'll bring you a fucking blanket if I need to bring you a blanket. You're going to sleep here until you go out, you complete this, you come back, you're changed forever. And it's the hardest thing people will do. There's a point in time where it's like your soul leaves your body. It's the hardest thing you've done physically. You have nothing physical left in you. And so now something else takes over and has to move through the rest of that rite of passage. And when you complete that, when you do that, you're changed. What
do you say to people that say that sounds like toxic parenting? That's too much. That's, you know.
Yeah. You know, I've heard this, toxic masculinity, right? I'm like, you know what? There's nothing toxic about masculinity, number one. Number two, we live in a society today we have a soft manicured man problem, right? We need to do more hard shit like this. And I put this hard thing in front of my boy. Right, and I was gonna make sure that he got it done. I remember when he took off, Liver Queen says, I'm gonna go check on him. And I said, no fucking way. You're gonna check on him. Because I know if she made eye contact with him, in that moment of suffer, you know, she would let him know, hey, I'm here to protect you. I'll bring you in. And if he can feel that for a second, you know what that does, to the being. And so I said, there's no way you can check. His brother can drive the Ranger way out in front to make sure he's not passed out or something, but you're not going to check on him. So, you know what I would say today is we've got a soft manicured man problem where a lot of men today hate the person that they've become. And we got to do something. We got to move men along this continuum so that they know hard times, so that they know what they're capable of, so that they can believe in themselves. So yeah, every once in a while somebody tells me something like that, and I'm like, we've lost this kind of value. Our own forefathers were offered more value in perpetuity than we do today, right? Had more strength, courage, mastery, and honor than we do today. We got to take that back. And people are like, oh, where's the scientific proof? Sometimes I hear that. I'm like, if you just look at these statistics, look at the statistics. And I don't know if we talked about this earlier, but 80% of people are struggling living paycheck to paycheck. We have 70% that are overweight, 50% on prescription medication. We have 20% that can't have babies, right? That want to be healthy enough, to be fertile enough, to propagate our species, and they can't have kids. And 40% have cancer, will get kids. We got some major stuff going on today. And so this isn't the silver bullet to it, but this is part of it. Is getting out there and knowing what this true strength feels like. Again, this isn't just about physical strength. You come back and you'll know physical strength. But again, the real strength is, holy shit, I did this thing. It took active suffering and struggling and discipline, and I practiced this thing. And look at what I'm capable of. And now I'm capable of doing this in a business, in a relationship. You're capable of pointing this process at anything, so that you can take extreme ownership and create the life that you want to live in, and those statistics that I talk about start to fall away.
I agree with all of that. I think, when I said your businesses are doing really well, I mean really, really well. I read online, Little Birdie told me that you're making over $100 million a year from your businesses. True or false?
True.
True. That's a pretty staggering accomplishment. What role does money play in your life now? Like when you think about the relationship with money, obviously money isn't a thing that is ancestral. I mean, you could make, I guess, through lines to status in tribes, I guess, because money in our society is often associated with status or status. I don't know what the American pronunciation is. But what role does money play in your ancestral being, if I've even said that correctly?
Not much. I mean, I have Liver King Ranch. We have plenty of acreage. We have all of our food out there. We're here in the UK. We decided a couple days ago, hey, let's go to the UK. It's so easy to get on the plane, to go to the UK, to check out a badass fight, to be able to podcast with you today. So I would say that money just amplifies more of what you are, right? And I don't know who coined this, who first said it, but if you're an asshole before you had money, now you get money, you're more of an asshole, right? If you're a generous person, and it amplifies your ability to be generous. Every once in a while we go wakeboarding, or I'll give you this example. When I was growing up, I snowboarded a lot. When I was in college, I would take off snowboarding. After college, I would take off snowboarding. And I went by myself all the time. But immediately I would seek out somebody to bond with, to go snowboarding with. And so I was always, hanging out with people, and that's what made it special. Right. I talked to my friend Paul Saladino. I'm like, hey, imagine going wake surfing by yourself. You just got like a driver out here. You're wake surfing back here. Nobody's back here cheering for you. It's not about our ability to get. It's about our ability to give and to share and have these altruistic goals personally and professionally. The role that it's played now in our personal lives. A lot of people say, hey, you can do all these things because you have money. And it's like, if you look at actually the amount of money that we spend to have Liver King Ranch, it's self-sufficient. In fact, we make money from selling meat from Liver King Ranch. And so, I don't know if that answers your question, but I would say it hasn't really changed a whole lot other than creating a vehicle to be able to go and to deepen the experiences and say, hey, let's go to the Abu Dhabi fight. Let's go to the UK fight. Let's go do those things as a family, and let's go on some adventures.
One thing you say has changed things for you is Liver Queen. Barbara. She goes by Liver Queen because I met her earlier on and she introduced herself as Liver Queen. So how did that change you, meeting her?
So I've said this before, but I believe because of the rites of passage we've talked about, I figured out how to be a man. right? I figured out how to be strong and courageous and develop mastery level skills and be honorable to an honor system of other men and accountability with other men. So I think I had figured that out. I was pretty good at that, but I wasn't really a good man. And so when I met her snowboarding. I met her snowboarding. She was already on the mountain. She was strapping into her snowboard, getting ready to take off. I'm coming off a chairlift. I'm with, at the time, my best friend, Jeff Parchman. And I said, hey, man, this is his first time snowboarding. I said, hey, I got to go. I see a girl. I'm going to go and see if I can talk with her. I ended up talking with her, and I said, hey, I caught her down at the next lift line. And I said, hey, I know this mountain pretty well. Can I show you around? And she said, yeah.